still Tolkien, and I'm still interested. I have a Hobbit tattoo. If it's got that IP, I am going to check it out, unless it's Gollum. So with the upcoming release of some new Peter Jackson movies for the Lord of the Rings, the Hunt for Gollum, I believe is the name, like directed
thank
by
God.
Circus, as well as the new War of Rohirrim anime that's coming in December of 2024. It could be a time when it's kind of ascendant again, that IP that has gone dormant a little bit since the last Hobbit movies came out, or before that when the Lord of the Rings movies came out. But as I talk more about this game, I feel like I'm almost be more excited for a single player, like a new Shadow of Mordor type game with the Nemesis system, than whatever MMO we get from Amazon Game Studios, because they don't even seem to know yet what their hook is for the MMO. Time will tell, but I don't expect this one anytime soon. At least, I hope don't expect anytime soon, because they should know what they want to make the game at this point, I think. But our next two games, I really want to know more. Light No Fire looked a whole lot like a fantasy world-based version of No Man's Sky from Hello Games and had a very splashy reveal. Much like No Man's Sky had a splashy reveal that led to a disappointing release,
and a disappointing game, mediocrity.
Just frankly not giving up on the game. Not until the game found an adoring fan base that actually made it win awards long after it had been released. No Man's Sky is a testament to a developer continuing to work on a game, even after a disappointing launch that didn't meet expectations. And with Light No Fire, the second game, we don't know what we're getting. We don't even know if this will be a true MMO. Honestly, if that's even a thing that exists, because if you ask 10 people what an MMO is, you'll probably get 10 different answers. But the intrigue is certainly there. A game the size of a planet, an interactable changing world of an entirely new fantasy IP. Count me in, at least to try it out, and maybe drop it after a month because it didn't tickle my fancy, but at least I want to try it. I'm excited and interested in seeing another approach from a new company in the...
I believe it is lunchtime, and I will finish the rest of this video. And I will bring this WoW character in for a minute. What time is it now? It's 11:15 in the game. I could go looking for stone today. Or I could eat lunch. Or, well, it's dinner, really. I'm going to eat dinner, like the one meal I eat each day. Yeah, I meant to go to the inn. P for professions, combat, backstab, assassination, subtlety, eviscerate, first aid. Okay. Okay. Oh, I am wasting wood. Oops.
Reached level 60.
I'm gonna go feed that horse. XP. Okay, I'm going to go pee and make something to eat. I'm going to turn off this sound so it's not so oppressive. I will be right back, guys. Sorry, I got to take a bio break here. I'm going to make something.
You feel rested.
Yeah, I'll probably eat the rest of those burritos, I guess. Mix a drink, I guess. Yeah, I can mix a drink. Okay, what do I eat today? I have some milk. And I will mix a drink, I guess. I'm not being 40 and being able to fucking drink. It's fucking awesome.
You are now AFK, away from keyboard.
There you go. Then I guess we start with wine. So I'll have to do this cork trash. There we go. Got a nice glass of iced Merlot. Yes, iced Merlot would be very good. Oh, didn't mean to bump the mic, sorry. There we go. Almost done. Oh, I want to get pepperoncini.
Coleman farting says, ha. Eternal and death to the cursed Ottomans. Coleman farting says, thank you, admonish. You have tempered the cold rage in my heart.
Okay. We shall watch this MMO video full screen while eat dinner. Halfway through the 14-hour shift. All right.
The space, an approach to how they want to build out the MMO. We just don't know what that is yet. We don't know what the core concepts would be. No. We can make assumptions. We can look at No Man's Sky and say, well, it might be just like fantasy that. It might be a pseudo MMO that has a lot of, crafting, survival, harvesting, but we don't actually know that. Anything we're doing here is just guesswork based on the history of the company. and that doesn't always work out. But while we wait for even just a glimmer of news from Hello Games, another
So
trailer,
good.
another something, a blog post, something that tells us a little bit about what their core philosophies and tenets are, we can.
This meal costs $2.20 between the wine and the burritos, but I love it. It's good. It's just sour cream burritos and about $2 worth of wine. Yeah, it's like maybe it's like $3.50 something. It's such a cheap meal and it's so good. It's not particularly healthy, but it's good
for an MMO at least. And then probably get completely disappointed.
But that's what
because
exercise
as
is
MMO
for.
players, our expectations are exponentially more than realistic. At least mine are. I want a perfect MMO.
EverQuest. Loud. Sorry. I didn't know he was going to do it.
This next one, I'm trying to temper expectations, but it's hard, so I've been waiting well over a decade for it.
I don't think EverQuest is a good game, particularly. It's a good game, but it's so old.
This is probably the second or third attempt at making.
So I don't know when EverQuest came out. I want to say it's like 98, 99. But this game came out 5 years later. Would you rather this game with all these nice 3D graphics and a good camera, nice Final Fantasy stuff? This game is so much better looking than that game. See it? They're both crappy old base looking games, but this game looks way better in my opinion. I'm just saying.
Quest MMO, and we're not really sure just how firm the ground is that the game is on right now. We know that from EG7 investor documents, EverQuest, the IP specifically, has repeatedly been talked up as their most valuable owned IP. That's notable given that other IPs under EG7 that are probably much more valuable are not theirs. Like Lord of the Rings Online, which of course has upcoming competition from the other MMO on this list. Dungeons and Dragons Online, which already has its own competition with Neverwinter. And then with Hasbro already talking up with the success of Baldur's Gate 3, how much they want to really push that Dungeons and Dragons IP, who knows what we'll have in the coming future. If there will be something that could take away some of that shine from a DDO beyond Neverwinter Nights. And then of course you have DCUO, which is a surprisingly successful MMO, but is of course not an owned IP by EG7. And EG7 was going to make a Marvel MMO, so that was interesting, but that got canceled too. But EverQuest is their IP. They own the EverQuest IP because they purchased it from Columbus Nova, who purchased it from Sony Online, who purchased it. Basically, it gets convoluted mess, but all you need to know is
Embracer.
that IP is under EG7 now, which owns Daybreak. And from that, we kind of have a rough idea of what kind of budget they were looking at, as they stated it'd be north of $35 million to make the game, as well as some guideposts of just
$35 million
when they're trying to make the game, because they pointed to From Software. Not from a difficulty standpoint or a gameplay standpoint,
wow,
but more about how From Software has a formula they use, and how they take that formula and they iterate on it. And instead of making something brand new every time, they just keep making essentially the same game, but with some changes, making it a faster and cheaper way to make the next iteration. Which all of that leads me to think that an EverQuest 3 now would not be attempting the grandiose scope and
that it needs to. Yep.
EverQuest Next.
Yep. And all the changes of EverQuest Next and all that. Yep. I like this guy. He knows what he's talking about. was a good meal. Good glass of wine with dinner. Takes the edge off. Start to get that smile, that happy smile. Got to get out tomorrow after work to walk. Because I was lazy today. And I go almost every day. I've been eating burritos and stuff, and
perhaps it'll be closer to the games they already know how to make, the games they already have the infrastructure for, the games they already have the devs for.
Borderlands.
With EverQuest hitting 25 years and EverQuest 2 clocking in at 20 years, I think we're about as primed as we could be for a new EverQuest MMO. But it might be a wiser path for EG7 to instead invest.
You know, I never did EverQuest 2. Maybe I should try EverQuest 2. It might be the auto swing, the auto swing game I'm looking for. I know it's a high quality game. I still don't think it's modern enough. I don't think it was modern enough when they released it, which was its problem, you know. I love how fast that map is. Look at that map. It's a good map. Oh yeah, I have to sell. Oh, I couldn't make my bandages because I have to be able to have cooking, and I need to know where to go for cooking.
What are you
Tell me
looking
where profession trainer
Which profession?
Cooking is.
Why cook when everything tastes like ashes in your mouth? If you have one, still that is. Very well. Head to the Undercity south of Brill and ask an Undercity Guardian there for further directions to their cooking trader.
For fuck's sake.
To get there, you can take the elevators down from the rear of the ruins of Lordaeron.
Did somebody just buff me for some reason? Oh, no. Oh, yeah. I have to buy more fire crystals. I have to buy more fire crystals. Let's hear what else he has to say.
Smaller game, using the IP for a bit to rebuild it in the consciousness. An RPG or an RTS, maybe even a survival craft like an Enshrouded. It wouldn't be the first time North had graced such titles, as we got 2 action RPGs in the form of Champions of North 1 and 2, as well as an RTS called Lords of EverQuest. Those sort of games would be much cheaper than an entire MMO, and I'm sure beloved by the fans of the IP, as long as they were, well, you know.
What system is Champions of North 2 on Steam? Oh, Return to Arms is not. Champions of Norath. Let's go look at that.
Champions of Norath is a top-down action RPG.
Thank you. Top-down action. ARPG, huh? Really?
Hack and slash with a
Hack and slash.
old matters most. Will it matter most in the future? And a negative.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. No thanks. But it was still really good. Yeah. Just curious, you know.
Shit. But that doesn't seem to be where we're going. Everything we've heard from investment calls and digging into hiring, as well as straight up confirmation at panels from Darkpaw, looks like they're leaning toward a new MMO, and they're still currently hiring for it. The first investment document confirmation we got for an EverQuest 3 said ideation for the game would start in 2025. And if that's the case, it's very possible, if this project keeps going, we'll get more information on its chances of survival in a tough gaming market in the next year or so. We just don't know yet what kind of game they would be making. And I think in part, we don't know yet because they don't know yet. Whatever the case, fans of EverQuest like myself, people that kind of grew up on the game, hell, we're probably going through our upteenth, progression server, or whittling away our time on Project 99 or on Project Quarm, and really just waiting for that next journey into Norath that we've been waiting for and longing for. We'll likely be holding our breath, hoping that this does not get canceled too. because Norath is a place that we all want to go back to in some way, form, or fashion.
No,
In fact, EG7, if
I don't care if I don't
anyone
return to
from
Norath.
EG7 or Darkpaw is watching this or listening to this, give us a port for Champions of Norath 1 and 2. What is the harm? What's the harm in letting us play those games? I mean, just let us go play in Norath a little bit. I know the story is a little wonky, it's probably a little bit dated, but let us go play. Just let us play. Let us know down in the comment section below, what game do you wish you knew more about? Whether it's one of these or a completely different one. Or what game are you just excited about? My name is Redbird Flynn. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Or evening. Or night. I have no idea when you're actually watching this.
Continents and more than 36 zones. It truly was.
No, I want to look at more of what this guy's done, because he's getting better at what he does, definitely. What else has he done? The most unexpected EverQuest reference ever. Are the new classes fun? Everything we know about the new MMO. Okay, let's go look at this.
We finally know what one of the founding fathers of the MMO genre, Raf Koster, has been working on.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Raf Koster, and I've been making online worlds for a long time now. The thing is, people think they know what an MMO is. It's leveling up, it's killing purples, it's DPS counts, and
Nope.
instances.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
It's time-consuming with a zillion.
It's survival.
on the screen.
That's it.
It's running through static zones and being the same chosen one.
Whatever that means to you.
We don't think MMOs have to be that way.
Oops.
And it's very different. Buckle in, because this one's going to be a bit of a long one. Raf Koster, one of the creators behind the brilliance of games like Ultima Online and Star Wars Galaxies, after years, has finally revealed his new project. An MMO that has the potential to shake up the genre. Of
very good.
Sci-fi sandbox that I'm going to be kind of
Oh,
affectionately
no.
referring to as No Man's Sky. It was an MMO, or Star Wars Galaxies 2.0. Well, you'll see why. The game is being created along with the help of another MMO veteran who'll be familiar to fans of EverQuest, Dave Georgeson, and his connection to this planet.
These people are going to die in like 30 years. They're not going to make an MMO when they're 70. This fantasy... They need to be worried about gardening. Like my parents. Maybe you guys aren't around people this age, but these people should not be making MMOs. I don't know.
Is very evident in a lot of the freedom, construction, and terrain manipulation we've seen so far. We'll get to the looks of the trailer here in just a moment, so just hold on to that, because I do have some thoughts on it. But there were other parts of the reveal that were really, really intriguing, and at least one part that had some concerns for me, at least for me and my enjoyment of the MMO. With the big reveal after much teasing from the dev, we got an in-depth video interview, a Discord for the game, a website complete with registration to sign up for future tests, and a very, very wide-ranging AMA that has helped inform this video. Stars Reach is the new MMO, and it feels paradoxically easy to describe and frustratingly difficult. Yeah. In short, Stars Reach is the realization of Raf Koster's dream, an MMO he's been wanting to make for 30 years. It's the creation of a broad appeal game focused on a living, breathing world where you can have direct impact from planet governance to causing animals on the planet to go extinct by digging too deeply and too greedily.
You fear to go into those mines. The dwarves delved too greedily and too deep. You know what they awoke in.
It's a sci-fi MMORPG designed around exploration, building, collecting, even combat, and well, just being a straight-up sandbox in space. And one of the key words there is actually the sandbox part. It's a fully simulated setting where water flows, forests can catch fire, flora changes with
Cool.
heat and humidity. And can we just not have the heat and humidity that has been is doing all kinds of weird shit because it's like 82 degrees up here with like 80% humidity? Can we turn it off, please? And of course, creatures will migrate as resources are depleted, and all of this is part of a world that does not reset. It is a persistent universe and permanent change. It's also a game that's planning on trying to respect your time, but also give depth. It's built around 5-minute play concepts, but is being pitched as a game where you can go full-on marathon sessions as well. Kind of the best of both worlds there. It is a classless open system where you can build an underwater domed farm, a subterranean lava mining facility, which has never been an issue for any kind of games that Ralph Coster has been involved with at all, right? Or even an orbiting starport. Yes, you can build in space, and yes, there will be spaceships. The ones that we have been told are not just planes in space, but a bit more realistic. That's about the details we got so far.
It's time for trees that grow, for creatures that steal your stuff and take it back to their lairs. If you neglect that alien infestation over there, it might expand and grow towards your house. Every one of our creatures runs AI like the Sims, and they live on thousands of planets, because we leverage the power of the cloud to have a single shardless galaxy of worlds, all of them terraformable and with permanence, so what you change is saved. Planets you and your friends can build on and settle. We're in the great tradition of games like Ultima Online, Star Wars Galaxies,
Hells yeah.
Minecraft and EvE, but we want to look forward, not back. That means players able to choose their own fun, whether it's...
Why don't you say Rust? Rust is one of the bigs too. You're dumb. Because you guys saw that there was guns in it.
It means great character customization, not unlock classes.
Who cares?
Above all, it means recognizing that it takes all kinds of players and all sorts of play styles to really make an ultimate.
Everything about this game feels like a sandbox for players to jump into and play around with. And concept, of course. How many times in the video do you think I'm going to say sandbox? Put your prediction down below. It's probably going to be a lot. Ralph Coster has been upfront about who this game is for and who it's not for. The people it's not for, per Ralph Coster, are. It's not for people who want tons of storylines. Not for people who want super realistic graphics. Not for people who want to grief. Not for people who seek out increased power numbers go up. And you, watching this video right now, may very well be some of those players that this game is not for. In fact, I'm
one of them.
Those people.
I'm both for and not for it.
Beyond those things, still has me very, very intrigued. And I want to see where this is going. Because you see, there's an underlying reactivity of the world that sounds incredible. It makes me hopeful for something that...
Yeah, it gives me a RPG boner. I call it a roner.
After so
It gives me a roner.
There's some irony here in that in coming from...
That's an RPG boner.
Ultima Online and Star Wars Galaxies that did a lot of that innovation and iteration back then. Even Star Wars Galaxies player-run cities, which Ralph Coster said in the AMA was one of the favorite features of the game, with their crazy surveying systems and farming systems. But there's other comparisons as well. Like I mentioned, this game is already being compared heavily to No Man's Sky, even down to the trailer. And some of the, perhaps, hyperbole, or at least the perceived hyperbole. I mean, you can't say something like, Stars Reach uses simulation to a degree never seen in an MMO before. We know the temperature, the humidity, the materials for every cubic meter of every planet. Our water actually flows downhill, puddles. It freezes overnight or during the winter. It evaporates and turns to steam when heated up. And not just compared to No Man's Sky, whether or not that's grandiose is a question that Ralph Coster answered in the AMA. And holy shit, if the answer didn't make me feel like I went to some kind of science lesson that I was not prepared for and I did not have notes for. Ravcosser talked about how the game tracks humidity by aggregating smaller cells to determine a larger area humidities, which then allows the chemical reactions in-game that will render plants turning brown, dirt getting cracks, etc. In the AMA, we learned that this goes much further than that even. You'll be able to flatten a planet to its bedrock, driving out plants and creatures to extinction, or destruction. But on the note of extinction, it was something that Ultima Online tried to do back when that was one of the bigger games out there. An attempt of trying to deal with the ongoing cycle of, well, you know, as the devs create content, they're not able to create enough content for players to consume because we are freaking ravenous. Well, turns out they underestimated the ravenous part.
Wouldn't care for the grass, so the grass would all become, you know, herbaceous again. And conversely, you know, players could kill either the herbivores, which we...
Yeah, he's seen it before. I've seen this before in a game called Vintage Story. Vintage Story doesn't get the credit it deserves, but it's actually a really amazing Minecraft mod that's like way better than Minecraft. And I've seen all this before. I've seen like winter, and I've seen like, you know, actual seasons and stuff in a good game. And when you've seen it, you understand that it's possible. And that's what he's talking about. He's seen it before. And I mean, they've seen it in their own games. They probably on their own games probably added all types of stuff like seasons, you know? They mess around a lot, developers. Stone. Oh, I can put a lot of wood on him. Oh, look. Yep, I can just completely dump on him and just keep going. Very good. Ooh, more stone. I have to go home soon, though. This game is so much better than goddamn Mortal. Mortal's so boring compared to this game. I want Mortal to be good, and the combat in it is good, but like, I don't know. Oh, look, it's like 5 nodes. Oh, look, the Rust Gods gave me a present. I just got a Roner. I just got a Roner, guys. It's an RPG boner. I just got a Roner. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, so much metal and stone. Ah, Roner. So much metal and stone. Oh, my God. Yes, it just keeps going. Yes. Yes, it's so much RPG mats. Yes, it just keeps going. Look, look. It just keeps going. We have to go back and get the horse before it gets dark, because I didn't bring a light. Oh, wait, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I have to get out of here. I don't know where I am. I know I'm at the harbor. Oh, no. Did I lose my horse? Oh, no. I lost the horse. Horse, where are you, horse? No, I should hear you. I should hear you. Where's the horse? Oh, okay. I can't ever get off the horse when it's dark. I'll never find him again. We have to go home. Oh my God, I want those nodes though. I want to go back and get those nodes. I saw all of those nodes. I want to go back and get the nodes. I want to get the nodes. I want to get the nodes. Yup, it's so valuable. I'm so greedy. I'm never going to see this horse again. I got to keep him in sight. Gotta keep him in sight. No, there's more nodes. I don't care. It's sulfur. I'm gonna leave it be. Oh my God, it's 2 more nodes. Oh no. What is this now? Oh no. What was this now? I heard something. Oh, you scared the fuck out of me. I thought I was dying. Fuck was this, man? Fuck was that, man? Oh, I'm full. Is any of it worthless? Yeah, that's worthless. The campfire's even more worthless. Yep, worthless. Kind of worthless. Yeah, worthless. Compared to the stone. Stone. I got so many nodes in green. It was way better than stone. Or, oh, sorry, snow. Snow. Wait, there's another one, but it's sulfur. But I mean, I'm right here. The horse is right here. It's safe. There's another sulfur. Oh my god, I got so much stone I can finish the fucking base and pay the upkeep. I have to get home. I have like 3 days worth of upkeep, but this was like the best run I've had in like months. For some reason, it just dumped a bunch of materials on me for some reason. I better get arrows in the mag. Oh my god, it's 2 milk crates. Oh, they're chasing me. No, 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 no. You fucking assholes. No! I don't know what to do. Make band-aids. Nope. Wait. Fuck this. I'm going back. It's 2 milk crates. It's probably good. There's probably good stuff in them. I couldn't see what it was as I went by. Goddamn wolves. Goddamn wolves. No. No, if they bite me again, I'm dead. I'll just come back. I'll just come back. Fuck it. I'm too rich to die. I'm too rich to die. I'm too rich to die. Something bad will happen. I'm just getting out of here. Band-aids. Go, go. Nope, nope. What was that sound? It was, oh god damn it, no! No, 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 no. Oh, thank god, I just happened to be bandaging when he shot me. I happened to be bandaging when he shot me. I was so lucky, I was so lucky. Yes. See, stuff's starting to come after me because I'm in a rush and I'm so rich. There's no way I'm losing all this. There's no way. Go, horse, go! Chariots, swing low, sweet chariot. Okay, look at all that. Oh, yeah. All... Oh, wait, no, no. That's coming back out immediately. Those aren't going in there. They're going in here. Yeah. Fire, metal, metal, go. Loot, go. Metal, wood, metal, split, metal, metal, go. Lots and lots of high qual. All... More metal. More metal for this. Yeah, more metal for that. More stone. But it doesn't matter. I can just go take a hammer and blow all the stone now. Yep. Give me a hammer. I love a good rust run. There's nothing like it in gaming. It definitely makes you feel successful. You're like, oh my god, I got so much stuff. Yes, yes, yes. Right. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm not fucking around with this, or that, or that, or that, or that. That. Oh, was that all of it? Yeah, it was. Jesus Christ. Well, in any event. Yeah, 2,500 is pretty good, and I have like double the income in there. The horse has more stuff. Gotta get to him before somebody takes it. Yes, look at all this. It was like upkeep fucking city, bitch. You've been a good horse. You've served well. If I had some way to feed you, I would. But I don't. Oh, wait. No, wait. I can feed this horse. I can spend the rest of the night fishing because I don't have to do anything. I can spend the rest of the night fishing. Is there any food in here? Any at all? No. Damn it, damn it. There's no food in here. What about the barbecue? No. Well, okay. Out, 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 out. No, that stays in there. You, out, out, out. Stone, 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 stone. Wood, wood, wood. Take it out, out, out. Wood, metal, or whatever. Yeah, metal, stone, wood, metal, stone. Cloth, high qual. High qual goes back in, and we'll do high qual like the normal stuff. Cloth and sulfur and all that stuff. Here's sulfur and cooked that stuff. Get me out of that there. Sulfur there. Charcoal there. Gonna mute the sound because I don't care anymore. Or like it's mission successful. I paid the upkeep. Right, good. I did. Feels good.
In our mind's eye, they wouldn't do very much because there wasn't much value in the
Oh yeah,
carnivores.
the fucking macros.
Instead, we assumed that they would tend to fight the carnivores. Frankly, the service didn't work. What we discovered the moment the game went live was that players ran over the world like a swarm of ants that consumed every living thing as fast as it was possible to spawn it. They killed every creature.
So here's hoping that Raph has solved this issue, since it was an issue in Ultima Online. But on the downside for me, well, I have major concerns when an MMO opts to go simultaneously for broad appeal while also seeking to heavily rely on player-created content. It's been a consistent criticism I've had for games that talk about open player-generated stories. On paper, it sounds great. In reality, you often end up with a game like Star Wars Galaxies, which struggled mightily, especially at endgame, for having large swaths of emptiness and lack of things to do. And that was even with the brilliance of the Star Wars IP. Copious missions, PvP, player towns, and more, and even non-combat roles like the Entertainer. The harsh reality to me is that without handcrafted content, without stories and a world that exists before players, there's not much left when the players go away. And they will go away, because that's just how this works. An MMO needs to have content and a world with 1 million players or 10 players. It is a mighty thing to ask, but it's a very important thing for an MMO to be able to handle that flux. If it cannot, then it is infinitely more fragile as the numbers go up or the numbers drop. And as the cracks show in MMOs, players flee for fear of their time investment being wasted, exacerbating problems for those MMOs that rely too heavily on a critical mass of players. Like what happened with Star Wars Galaxies, Warhammer Online, more recently Crowfall, and less recently Ultima Online. They're not necessarily death knells, but they can exacerbate problems that force developers to adapt the vision to accommodate for the fluctuations and the lower numbers. And by lower numbers, meaning less players, less content. That's the key part of that. Less players, less content. An MMO needs a bedrock to rely on, which it does at least sound like Raph Koster's Playable Worlds is considering, as he stated in the AMA, they have the ability to spawn handcrafted things into the world, thus assuring interested players that this is not simply modifiable terrain. With this game though, there is underlying lore for how and why certain areas of the game are off limits. But it also sounds like it's shrouded in a lot of mystery, and it may not be fully there. It may be one of those things that exists in the background as some nebulous thing, with the player created content not just front and center, but the bulk of what this game is about. It'll be interesting to see where the balance falls and if it's too far in one direction or the other, although I think it's probably going to be in the player created, if anything. It will be interesting to see how does this game work if they don't have memorable locations, central hubs that are not player created but developer created, handcrafted places like, say, Moonglow or Theed in Star Wars Galaxies. It's actually something that we may know sooner rather than later, because that's kind of what PAX Day is dealing with right now, because they are so very player creation focused. Player cities are incredible, but an existing world with notable places, characters, and lore to build around is a special kind of magic.
Long ago, an incredibly powerful ancient alien civilization terraformed whole arms of the galaxy to create what they called their garden. And they left behind their works, their robot servitors that to this day follow the orders of their long-vanished masters, and of course the legacy of their genetic engineering, which includes us. A science fantasy setting full of lore and secrets, factions to join, and mysterious artifacts.
So while we don't know how much of that is going to be in the game, we do know how much the player-generated side is going to be influenced by you and what you can do with it. How you can choose to play the game kind of the way that you want to play the game.
It should be up to you whether you want to solo a tough critter or gather a group of 50 to take down an alien spider dragon. It should be up to you whether
Yes,
you work on building your
agreed.
castle or bringing
I
down
can't
the
stand their
dragon.
bullshit. Yep.
And someday your guild might govern that planet, and then you'll be able to decide whether to make it into a roleplay heaven or a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
We know that you'll be able to govern your own worlds with your guild and actually set the tone for those worlds and what they are. It almost, in a weird way, kind of sounds like a platform more than an actual game. And I know at times this has been referred to as a platform, but it sounds like it's more an actual game now than it was back then. But it's one of those things that it almost feels easier to say it that way because it sounds like you'll have a lot of autonomy in what you can do in the world that you govern and the rules you can set within it. If I could sum up this game so far in just a couple words, it'd be broad appeal and playstyles. A reactive world to the extreme, but with some permanence and a lot of player-generated content. Look, I am not a marketing major for a reason. That's just my dumb YouTuber take on it. There's a lot more to talk about with this game, but before we get too long-winded, however long into this video this is, I'm sorry, I'm a long-winded person. We've got to talk about the trailer because the first impressions of it can be rough, and one of the biggest reasons for me was the stiffness of the animations and even the rigidity of some of the character models. I also want to point out, this is pre-alpha footage. Like Ashes of Creation, Pantheon, Ghost from Fantastic Pixel Castle, and more, they're showing footage of Star Reach long before you'd normally see it for another game. But that doesn't mean it's time to cope about massive changes either. Star's Reach has been very clear that the art style they're going for is for broad.
See, he's
appeal.
teaching me a lot.
Specifically,
He's very good at
not
this.
Not only are they looking to make the game look like Breath of the Wild or Genshin Impact stylization, but also that they want to do to sci-fi genre what WoW did to the fantasy genre. They do not want ultra-realistic graphics, and they want this world to be bright and optimistic. To quote Raph, we wanted to do to sci-fi what World of Warcraft did to fantasy, and make it colorful, welcoming, and accessible. We think the real world is grim dark enough, right? And to that, I say, yes, but going too far in that direction, especially when they have said that their target market are adult gamers, you might go a little bit too far that way to get to a point where the target market you end up getting is a much younger market. Not saying the art style specifically, but if you make the world too bright, too happy, it might just be a little bit, of a disconnect. But I'm not designing the game. That's just my opinion. I also write books that are pretty dark, so maybe I'm the wrong person to consider that. Art style is going to be one of the things that is very personal. And I think that if they're going the way they are, they still need to dial in an identity on the character and NPC models because they kind of felt a little bit generic. It's hard to really say with any certainty, especially at this point, but if you told me that this trailer was for a new Fortnite mode, I'd believe you. And that's not in the meme sense of everyone who says, oh, it looks like Fortnite because, I don't know, it has the color green. It's more about like, it really does to me because of the saturation of the colors and some of the softer tones, the softer edges. It does make me think of Fortnite, which has worked very well. But the downside to that is that means that there isn't a specific identity for this art style for this game. It means that it will always kind of be compared to it, which, oddly enough, is one of the issues you get into with hyper-realism as well. Because in hyper-realism, a lot of the games look very similar because they're, well, hyper-realistic. The Unreal Engine 5 look, if you will. That's all to say, I am sure that with the refinements, because they have said that this is a work in progress. They know they have work to do. They will work on the animations. They will dial in the things that they need to. They will dial in the art style they are trying to convey to the world. They will make these things work. Whether or not this is an MMO I personally will enjoy remains an open question. And my enjoyment of a game doesn't matter that much in the grand scheme of things. I'm just a loud YouTuber. What this does sound like to me, unequivocally, as someone who has been part of these MMOs for so freaking long, it feels like an advancement, an innovation, and something that is new to the genre, and I'm excited to see where it goes for that reason. And on a side note, Rav Kosser is one of those people that I can listen to talk about MMOs like all freaking day. He is, after all, the architect behind 2 MMOs that were incredibly formative to me and felt like worlds, actual worlds that I could inhabit. What the fuck is this? I don't even understand. I just made it worse. What am I doing? Oh no. 23, and you actually have a lot of different options if you want to play an MMORPG. Now granted, most of those MMOs that you have to pick from are at least 5, 10, or 25 years old, but there's still choices to make. There are MMOs that are still very social and make you want to group up and play with friends, and there are other MMOs that are the complete opposite end of the spectrum that really make you just want to play by yourself, and that is a completely fine way to play MMOs. I have especially with housing. In the wake of 2 really pretty disappointing MMO launches, first with PAX Day and their early access, which has largely been lost, quite simply
a disaster.
Too early, and then Terrasland being, well, kind of nearly
Bad.
universally planned for just being, well, bad. I found a new MMO for the moment. It's actually an old one, a really old one. It's not that one. It's an MMO that has quests like
I remember that quest.
World of Warcraft, grouping like EverQuest, a class role quaternity that includes tank, healer, CC, and support. And yeah, of course, DPS. It is an MMO that has an in-depth and really rewarding housing structure. An MMO that has one of the most engaging crafting systems of any ever made. It's an MMO that, as of this recent server release, is kind of devoid of pay to win, and it only costs $15 a month. It's an MMO that perhaps had the worst luck of any MMO ever, or the worst planning. It's also an MMO that is going to be worth trying, but not just for people that have played it before. This is one of those rare moments where I actually feel like someone coming into this old MMO at this time with having never played before might actually really enjoy themselves. This might be the time to try an MMO you've never played before. This isn't just a simple nostalgia trip. This isn't something where you would have had to have played it before and have those deep memories to be able to enjoy yourself or even get started with the game. This game actually has a lot of quality of life features that can be very helpful. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that EverQuest 2, the game we're talking about here, is actually more suited to a modern MMO audience than its predecessor, a game that I freaking love. Let's talk about it. EverQuest 2 is an MMO that doubled down on single-core processors as the rest of the world embraced multi-core processors.
We were fools, but at least we were loyal fools. The Agamans.
But at least we were loyal fools.
Doomed us to undeath. And now they are minions of the Scourge. Serve the Forsaken by defeating the Agamans who fell to the plague. Serve me by bringing me their remains. Devlin Agamand was the younger of 2 sons in the Agamand family, and in life the 2 could not be more different. Thurman was tall and gentle, while his younger brother was weak and sharp-tongued. When Agaman Mills fell to the plague, I was not surprised to hear that Devlin was quick to succumb, His mad chattering can still be heard
Linen
near
bandage.
the road leading to the Agamand Mills.
You create linen bandage.
I'm collecting the remains of the
You
Agamans,
create
and I want
linen
poor
bandage.
Devlin. Find him, destroy
linen
him,
bandage.
and bring me his bones.
You create linen bandage. 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 You create linen bandage.
A game that put an incredible amount of time, energy, and money into animations from toes to face. Voice acting that, yes, is not entirely great all the time.
Loans! Tail sent word you were comings. I's been scouting out the nearby areas, trying to get a better feels of what we's up against. Beastmasters these Tunarians are, training the wild...
That voice actor is awesome. What are you talking about?
It's
The
still
writing was
there,
good
as
too.
well as some that is absolutely phenomenal with huge names.
Today, destiny is upon us, and battle is soon to be joined. Our explorers in the field have uncovered one of the great mysteries of the past. The Temple of Bull, thought to be destroyed long ago.
They have Saruman. Saruman is the literal baddie in this game. Lucan DeLear is voiced by Saruman, and they have Heather Graham as well. This was the game that had big names doing voice acting before ESO was ever even considered. It was also a game that had photorealistic graphics, even spell effects that would melt your character into bones from big ass freaking dragons.
It's funny watching him try to shill for this deck game. It's quite funny.
And it did all of this, all these amazing things, 2 weeks before World of Warcraft. Yeah, but that's a story of timing
Discovered
and
ruins of Lord Aaron,
misplaced
85
ideas
experience gained.
and going for the wrong player base, all just a ton of mistakes that deserves its own video. It's a mess. But that's not what we're talking about, because we're talking about EverQuest 2's new server that they launched that might as well be a new game.
Discovered Undercity,
EverQuest 2
85
launched their
experience gained.
Origin server in June. A plan that took years to formulate, which
Origins.
isn't simply a new server like a time-locked expansion or TLP, but its own client that tries its damnedest to bring EverQuest 2 back from what it was like in 2006. And some of the things that it brings back are key to why this might be one of the best MMORPG experiences of the year. Not just for old EverQuest 2 players, but for new players who never actually got a chance to play it. First, and this one honestly is mostly gonna ring true with older players, but this game does not have chrono. Specifically, this version of the game does not have chrono. The Origin server doesn't have it.
I don't know what that
Chrono,
is.
for those unaware, is essentially a tradable currency that provides
Here lies
game
King Serenus Menethil, two last true king of Lord Aaron. Great were his deeds, long was his reign, unthinkable was his death. May the father lie blameless for the deeds of the son. May the blooded crown stay lost and forgotten.
Think WoW tokens. But it's a little bit worse because of how easy it is to use. It's tradable. You can, sell it. You can buy it for real money, and then you can sell it in-game for in-game currency. Chronos not only inflate markets essentially through wealth transfer from older servers, but they also attract players seeking to do RMT. For many, the existence of Chrono alone is enough to push players away from even trying an EverQuest progression server. And that's just not a problem here. There is an in-game shop, but by modern standard it's one of the most sanitized stores out there. There was a bit of an extra bag space and some very minimal 10% experience potions that are quite costly, as well as, of course, cosmetics. It's about as free of pay to win as EverQuest 2 has been in ages, which is refreshing given recent negative monetization moves EverQuest 2 has made that riled up the player base and made me very concerned, because what the hell were they doing with pay to raid? Second, this is going to be a much harder
Gatorade.
version of EverQuest 2, but also a less
I can teach you how to
complicated
cook.
one. Meaning that you will have challenge, but it's not going to be incredibly overwhelming to the point
You have
where
learned how to
jump
create a
in
new
and you
item,
get so
herb baked egg.
confused and you leave if you've never
You have
played.
learned how to create a new item,
EverQuest
roasted
2,
boar
a
meat.
few years after launch, tried to
have
emulate
learned how
World
to
of
create a new
Warcraft
item,
even
charred
more
wolf
than
meat.
it did when it did launch.
You have
One of
learned
the
a new
biggest
ability,
examples
basic
of
campfire.
this was
You have learned a new ability, cooking, apprentice.
a massive number of once group flagged NPCs to solo NPCs, drastically reducing difficulty and disincentivizing grouping as there simply weren't as many group mobs to fight. The Origin server reduces that with group mobs all over, encouraging you to grab your friends or meet new ones and group together to take them down in traditional group-focused MMORPG with key quaternity class roles. The support role is significantly less important than in game like EverQuest, but bards and enchanters are still huge benefits to any group, making massive differences not just in their crowd control but also in the buffs that they bring. It brings back a lot of the nostalgia players had about EverQuest 2 when it first launched, with a few caveats, a few things that they weren't able to restore, such as the level 1 to 10 subclasses, but they did their best to bring back as much as they could. It's also so much more than that. It's why I think EverQuest 2 can actually do more to capture a new audience in 2024 than EverQuest can. Now, I have at different times loved both of these games. I started playing EverQuest in 2000 after I left Ultima Online, and then I played it for up to about 2004, with also spending some time with another beloved MMORPG like SWG. But in 2004, I went over to EverQuest 2 and I beta tested for that game. I was
I did
won
too.
over by EverQuest 2, and I played
I did
it
not beta test, but I played EverQuest 2 the day it came out.
for about 2 years.
It was a really great game. They launched you on a ship. I remember. I'm not kidding. I actually was there day one. I was there day one for EverQuest 2, and I remember it was like the graphics would kill your computer at first. It was really intense. It was a very beautiful game. It really struck me. It really blew me away when I first played it. And they put you on a little island as a starter island, and that was the first time I'd ever seen a starter island before. And then just riding the ship with how many people were there, riding the ship like would bog my computer down so badly I couldn't play the game. And that's what I remember about EverQuest 2. It was so intense the first day I got it. Now it looks dated. But it doesn't look that bad to me, honestly. Now it looks okay. It looks better than, frankly, EverQuest 1.
servers, as well as a bit of World of Warcraft.
But it still reminds me of really crappy Mortal 1 or something. Really old games from 20 years ago. It looks really old.
Mixed in. EverQuest will always have the stronger pull for me. It is the game that I love the most. But I think that EverQuest 2 has the ability to do something EverQuest can't. It can ease a modern MMO audience into the game. And when I'm talking about a modern MMO audience, I'm not talking specifically about someone whose first game was New World. I'm talking about someone whose first game was either World of Warcraft or games that emulated World of Warcraft, which basically after 2004 was pretty much all of them. EverQuest 2 has not only a lot of the quality of life things that you would expect in an MMO like World of Warcraft, but also has a lot of the same gameplay.
It's so cold now. The plague of undeath crawls through my veins like an
Quest
icy
accepted. The
serpent.
chill of death.
The mindless state will be upon me soon. But no doomed destiny will prevent me from serving our Dark Lady. When the call arose, I sewed body bags for the fallen soldiers of Sylvanus' mighty army. Now my hands shake from the chill. If you would bring me 5 dusk bat pelts and some coarse thread, I could sew myself a blanket. Help me, adventurer, so that I can continue to serve the cause.
A bit more group focused. It has a lot of what World of Warcraft does, from questing to crafting to everything, but more group focus and more non-combat things. But we'll get to the non-combat things here in a sec. It's not just the number of group mobs and the challenge involved. It's not just in the dungeons where you find group mobs. Many of them are in the open world and ready to just kill you on sight, while others are in shared dungeons. Not just instance dungeons, so those do exist as well. And those shared dungeons are pretty damn vast. But it's also with how quests are constructed. Many quests in WoW are built with solo in mind, something that becomes painfully clear when you try to complete them in a group and realize that those 12 raptor heads you need, well, they're all physical items, and your entire group needs to individually get all 12. EverQuest 2 for many quests instead has personal flags. So within one quest, you may all need to kill one type of mob to get an item, but the item is a flag, not a physical item. It's a simple difference, but one that's hugely impactful for group questing. EverQuest 2 is also a game that allows you, in fact often encourages you, to just grab a group and go delve into a dungeon for experience, grinding, respawning mobs deep in Running Eye or Fallen Gates while seeking out names that have the best loot. It's a game that tries to strike a bit of a balance between questing for experience and grouping and grinding for experience. And you will end up doing both to get max level, because it will take some time, especially on this Origin server. Experience is not super fast. But here's where it gets a little bit greater, because you don't have to worry if your friends out-level you, because they can come back and mentor you and group with you. They can play with you even if your schedules don't always line up. And just like World of Warcraft, they have rested experience essentially with vitality. There's a lot of ways to try and catch up to your friends if you fall behind. It's basically just all these things that come together to make the game both challenging but also accessible, with those things that are kind of expected in a lot of MMOs today. Beyond that, the game, while not winning any prizes for looking, well, stunning in 2024, it still has some nice vistas, and it's often carried by tremendous animation work. Just don't look too close at the faces. Definitely, just stay away from that. But it'll be easier for modern players who don't have nostalgia to shift to EverQuest 2 than to EverQuest or Ultimate Online, which were like their own previous era of graphics. And they'll still be able to get shades of the social focused MMO gameplay that old school players loved with this Origin server. But I also mentioned non-combat things, and I think that's one of the things that EverQuest 2 really shines at, especially with housing. EverQuest 2 has some of the most incredible home building of any MMO out there. Yes, it is instance, but the sheer amount of things you can do to decorate your home is absolutely astronomical. It becomes a game in itself. You are able to craft items for your home. You find them off NPCs. You find them from questing. There are so many things that you can convert to things that you can put on your walls. You can share the spoils of all your adventures in your home. It becomes a game in itself, and I highly recommend anyone jumping into EverQuest 2 to really look into it. You'll get a quest right off the bat to get a new home and fill it with some of the shit furniture that looks like my first apartment after I left my parents' house. Oddly enough, just a few years after EverQuest 2 launched that shit apartment. And then of course there's crafting. The crafting in EverQuest 2 set a standard with an active system that didn't just have you combine things, but actually actively counter issues or fail at countering issues that occurred while crafting. It's like going to war with your kitchen or a forge. which is probably not that different from how some of us cook, in all honesty. I know it's how I do. I'm bad at it. But it is one of those crafting systems that has endured the test of time and one of the highlights of EverQuest 2. EverQuest 2's origin server isn't WoW's Season of Discovery. But it is a hell of a lot more exciting and engaging than I thought it would be, and I would implore you to give it a shot. See if you enjoy it. You might be surprised to find that you do. And while
Hardcore Season of Discovery would be really good. Well, I mean, yeah, but it was...
Quest 2 and playing the Origin server, go ahead and take this video right here and just like push it onto your second or third monitor and just play this video right here where we introduce the Scuffed Game Awards, the award show that is on this channel that is all community based, and you may actually get to vote.
Nope. Worm Online. Okay, we'll watch the Sawman about Worm. Yeah, that's
two things that probably shouldn't go together. Sort of like wizards and guns. Although I'd probably give this a watch. Over the years, many studios have attempted to jam these two things together, with the most recent attempt being PAX Day, with Dune Awakening releasing later this year.
Dune Awakening.
Back to the early days of MMOs, we have Ultima Online. But today, I want to talk about one of the most sandiest of sandbox MMO RPGs.
I don't like sand.
Boasting one of the most in-depth crafting systems you've ever seen, and arguably one of the first of its kind to dig this deep into the sandbox genre. I am, of course, talking about Worm Online. Released in 2006, Worm Online was the brainchild of Rolf Jansen and Marcus Persson, aka Notch, who invented Minecraft. And just like the original Minecraft, this MMO is using Java. To clarify, Worm is developed in Java and uses OpenGL for rendering the game. But don't let this small detail put you off, because as janky as it might look, this is by far one of the most complex MMORPGs I've ever played. And believe me, I've played quite a few of them, because that's what I like to do here on this channel, play dead relevant MMORPGs and then do complex reviews that get no views. Like and subscribe. In 2007, Notch would leave Worm to go onto other projects. However, Worm chugged along, and to this day you can download and play Worm Online for free from the Steam store. So that's exactly what I did. So if you want to see how I got on with this almost 20-year-old survival MMORPG sandbox, multiplayer, whatever the fuck it wants to call itself, then stick around and watch me suffer as I play Worm Online in 2024.
Thank you. Thank you, Sawman UK.
The good news is the game is very easy to install. It is available on Steam, it's only a whopping 1.3 gigabytes in size, and it's free to play. And to get started, you just need to enter a character name in the box above, and then simply click play. And that's it, you're away on your adventure, and the first thing it does is it dumps you into a tutorial.
It does now, but it didn't do that. Didn't do that 10 years ago.
You can actually see your feet when in first-person mode. And I know what you're thinking. This isn't the level of details you thought I'd go into when you clicked on a video about a MMO which is almost 20 years old. But also, this is Fallout 4, and you have no feet when you go into first-person mode, and it really annoys me. And this seems like the perfect time to bring it up in a conversation. But anyway, moving on. The first thing I noticed is that I looked like an NPC from the console classic GoldenEye on the N64. Despite the bottom left saying that there was 3 players in total in this area, including myself, I was unable to see any other players. Is this an early indication as to what I should expect? Perhaps, but either way, I chugged along to see what else this MMO has to offer. The tutorial was broken up into different sections, teaching you about the different mechanics of the game. The first one being how to climb this very steep slope. It's safe to say I was 30 seconds in and I already had some concerns. Next up was a lesson in digging, and it's worth pointing out that you can pretty much interact with anything in the environment around you. I then moved on to cutting down trees, I got taught how to do mining, and then I was taught how to equip my armor. And just like that, I was ready to be thrown into the world of Worm. There were 3 servers to pick from. One had PvE and PvP but on separate islands. Another one was PvE only, but you could steal from each other's houses.
PvE, light leather.
And the last one was a PvP free-for-all, which I'm sure I was too care bear to go
light
to.
leather.
Naturally, I just went for the obvious choice, the standard server on the PvE island. I mean, I figured it would be the most populated, not because I'm scared of PvP. As I watched the whole world around me load up, I couldn't help but feel quite alone again. There was no other players in my vicinity from what I could tell. So being the explorer that I am, I started to look around to see if I could find any indications of life on this game. And the first thing I found was a sign telling me not to cut down the trees. I entered the main building and walked into a courtyard filled with NPCs, and in the distance I thought I saw another player. Unfortunately, it was just a town guard. When exploring these old MMOs and doing these reviews, I tried to make it a rule that I don't jump into zone chat for the first couple of hours and ask for help. I want to explore these games as independently and solo as possible, unless there's a natural occurrence of socializing. But I'll be honest, this game was making that tough because there wasn't too much to go on as to what I should be doing, and there was no one around to actually speak to. I eventually ran into signs of player activity in the form of these half-built houses, and from what I can tell, I was in the next village over. The global freedom chat had a couple of players interacting with one another, so I knew that the game wasn't completely dead. I just had to try and find these other players. Welcome to Apple Hill Overlook. Population, just me apparently. There's no one around once again. I started to get the feeling that maybe I was the problem. Maybe I was playing too late at night and everyone had already logged off. So I decided to stick a pin in it, quit the game, and return the next day. So I jumped on the next day, and this time I had a game plan. That plan was to leave the village and go build a house in the middle of the woods. Unfortunately, the in-game map wasn't very helpful in helping me to determine which direction I needed to go. It had 2 purple dots on it, and I had no idea what they were for. As luck would have it, I was about to run into a bit of a scuffle. I don't remember seeing a tutorial for combat in the starting zone, so this was about to be a new experience for me. So I ran to the spider and did what any great hero would do, and stabbed it in the back while it wasn't looking. The combat in this game is certainly a unique spin on tab targeting. You have a dial in the top left to help you determine the direction of your attack. There's even an option to shield bash, and you can even be defensive in a certain direction. What I ended up doing was standing still and trying to stab it, but unfortunately I was stood slightly too far back, which meant I couldn't land a hit, until I shuffled forward a couple of steps, and then all of a sudden I was able to stab it in its stupid ugly face. This went on for a bit, there's a bit of back and forth, and eventually I came to realise that I was going to die. So like the true tactician that I am, I had one more trick up my sleeve, and that was to run away. Whilst walking backwards and waving my sword, I noticed an option to call guards. So you bet your ass I called the guards over to help me.
Give me everything.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
It was now a 2v1, and I felt like I had a good chance of winning this fight. Eventually, the spider died, and apparently that earned me several achievements. Ooh, I just got an achievement. I then proceeded to wander around for another 10 minutes, couldn't really figure out what I was doing, so I went to zone chat and I asked, how do I build my first house? I wasn't too sure if I'd even get a response, but what actually happened was an explosion of life. All of a sudden, this game woke up. Essentially, the advice was I needed to place down a deed in order to build a house. Or alternatively, I could join someone else's village and build there. The general consensus was I'd be better off joining someone else's settlement, as this would mean my house wouldn't decay. So I went to the global chat and did what any noob would do and just asked to join someone's village. Hello all, I be a lonely peon looking for a village to build a humble shack. Can someone take pity on me and let me live in their walls? Listen, a little bit of roleplay can go a long way. If you don't believe me, ask your mum. And just like that, a settlement request came in. I was asked if I wanted to join the Ancient Oath, and I
Don't believe me? Ask your mom.
Seafood, light leather.
Damn it, I want AFK, but I can't do it here. I gotta go stand by deck guards. Deck guard elite. Reminds me of Mortal. Feels like Mortal. Feels like Extraction. You really die. You die, you don't come back. You don't come back to start the whole character over. It's the best Extraction I've ever done. It's so good. Deck guard elite will make sure I live. It is 4 in the afternoon. I need to feed that horse, but I don't really have a way to do it. I guess I could go kill one animal and it would be enough to get started, I think. I could kill the horse itself, I suppose. But no, let's go kill an animal. I suppose I want a good bow. Or not a good bow, but a bow, like a hunting bow. Yeah. Yeah, that should be enough. Yeah, I now have the mats to make some high-speed arrows too. Yeah, we'll make like a good 15 of those for zombies or so. Yep. There's good kit. And I don't know if I want the horse for this. I don't know. I need to find an animal, and the fastest way to find an animal is probably the horse. So we'll probably find animals around the outpost, honestly. If I do a circle of it. Yeah, the horse is getting sick. I need to feed the horse, which means fishing. I'm going to fish. I hope I have enough rope. I might not have enough rope. I might have to go run the fucking road. Man, the same people are still on here. Nice. That guy's working on that place, whatever the fuck that is. There's probably a RV in there. The hell is that sound? Oh, it's the propellers on the ship. Yeah, I love how RP that is. I'm at the Zeppelin station. It's RP as hell. Okay, so gotta find an animal. A pack of zombies would also work, I think. Yeah, a pack of zombies will do it. Pack of zombies would also solve my problem. I'll find either one. I'll find like an animal or a pack of zombies sooner or later. There's a good bike. I should kind of come get that. There's a pack of zombies. They'll do. Are they chasing something? Good, good. That's good. That'll get me a fish. Or, well, I don't think those will, though. Yeah, that'll all get me fish. Yeah, that's probably enough fish. That'll probably be enough. Oh, God. What the hell is that sound? Oh, there's bats on the roof. Okay, I was like, what the hell is that sound? It's annoying as hell. I thought I heard a bear. I was like, I think I hear a bear. I'm gonna open up crossing and go fucking bow on him. How many arrows is this bear gonna take? He's perfect though. He'll just fix the horse problem. Full blown. Or he won't fix it, but he'll stave it off. God damn it, you're annoying. At least you're running back towards my house. He's gonna die now. Yep. Oh, damn, took so many goddamn arrows. Yeah, it'll help a little bit. It'll definitely help me catch fish, and fish will help me catch or will help me feed the horse. So now we're gonna do some fishing, which will be fun. We will also do some fish traps. We will attempt to feed the horse and me. Yeah, he's pretty much done for the evening, I think, before I go to bed. So, oops, wrong one. Oops. Yeah, we're going that way, horse. But oh god damn it, get off me in this thing. You. No. You. Lead. Come. Yes, you. Come over here. Yep. Good horse. Okay, so yep, and then we're gonna use these to catch fish, but I need a rope. There's a rope. It's the only rope I've got, but I believe it'll do. It'll do for what I need. Make me a fishing pole. Fishing pole. Oh no, it's too rope. No. Well, okay, then we'll make fishing traps. We'll make fishing traps. Fish traps, right? Fish traps are actually more in line with the way that I play the game. So we'll go that route or whatever. Yeah, give me like 5 or no, give me like 10 fish traps or whatever. And we'll lace each one, and we'll get enough food to feed them all. Wait, will that work? Yeah, it works. It's like annoying. It works. It's not the most amazing thing, but yeah, it works. Yep. Gonna go lace the traps with bear meat. Try and catch some good fish. Oh. I think you're supposed to cook the fish. Is that right? Do you have to cook the fish? You do. You have to cook the fish. That's right. I forgot all about this. So, yeah.
You are now AFK, away from keyboard.
I was then teleported to... Well, I don't actually know I was teleported to. All I knew was that this was my new home. Now that I'd joined the village, I was eager to get on with my main goal, which was to build a house. Apparently, it's one of the main objectives when trying to complete the tutorial. It turns out one of the perks of joining the village was that it actually updated my map to give me several icons and locations. And yet, I still had no idea as to where I was on this island.
Hot diggity dog! This place is magnificent. An embarrassment of riches, as they say.
Blivy offered to give me a tour of the village, so he arranged to meet up by the dead, decaying corpse of the huge troll. And after 2.5 hours of playing Worm Online, I had officially met someone else.
Where did all the food
Blivy then proceeded to
go?
give me a tour of the village,
What?
and it wouldn't be till much later on that I'd realised the actual scale and time taken to put all of this together. I have to say,
that's right.
I was actually kind of taken aback as to how friendly everyone had been up until this point. Everyone was more than happy to answer my questions, give me advice, and Blivy here was even allowing me to build on their land and use their resources. It did make me wonder though, how large is the community for this game if they are being that catering to new players? The Steam charts would have you believe there's only hundreds of players still playing this game. But there is a standalone launcher and of course private servers, so it's hard to gauge the true amount of people still playing this title. But anyway, the tour was coming to an end, and Blivy here was about to show me my plot of land which I would build my future home on. It was everything I could have hoped for, apart from the bear in the back. That was a bit of a concern for me. But anyway, I was home and I was ready to build. Although there's one thing that had annoyed me since the very beginning of this game, which I felt I should ask Blivy about. After all this time of playing, I had never actually figured out how I could change the looks of my character. There was no character creator at the start. If you remember, I was just thrown directly into the tutorial. So I felt like I should probably ask at this point. It turns out you start with something called a...
I'm gonna pause. I'll be right back and get something else to drink. Damn it.
golden glowing mirror, and if you click on this, it will allow you to actually edit
You
your
are no longer
character.
AFK.
That's right. After completing the tutorial, wandering around aimlessly for 2 hours, I was only just finding out how to change the looks of my character. It was at this point I started to have concerns about building a house. But anyway, one sex change later, I was ready to go.
if you're homeless, just buy a house.
Just buy a house.
Mm.
If you're homeless,
The funny
just
thing
buy
about
a house.
housing in MMORPGs is that it's usually considered endgame, whereas this, well, it's in the tutorial. Now, luckily, there's a shopping list of things to do, so I got to job number 1, which was chop down some trees. I just want to point out, I'm not RP walking here. This is generally how slow you walk when you're not on pavement. Side note, this is the first MMO.
I remember this now. Yeah, the walk speed. I was like, I can't do this.
RPG I played with a speedometer. So step 1, I started to cut down a tree. It seems that tutorial wasn't a waste of time after all. As you can see, they've opted for realism when it came to the speed it takes to chop down a tree of this size. Now, impressively for a game of this age, the tree didn't just simply vanish into my inventory. Oh no, it laid on the floor and then I had to chop it some more. Which then produced a log which I can carry over to my homestead, where I would then need to use a saw to turn these logs into planks. And trust me, the crafting gets way more complicated than this. I then proceeded to the next step, which was to flatten the land, and if you look in the bottom right corner, something interesting is happening. My skills are leveling up, in the most random numerical way, but they're leveling up. I then whittled a log into a shaft, and in that shaft I then turned to a mallet, and then that mallet I then used to plan my house. You're probably wondering where that donkey came from, but that's a whole different side quest I'll get to a bit later. Now, the funny thing is, through the power of video editing, I have shown you all of this taking place in the space of a minute. When in actual fact, it took me about 4 fucking hours.
4 fucking hours.
And do you know what the worst fucking bit was? I hadn't even started the real grind yet. All this time, I'd been chopping down trees and shit, leveling up my skills, and I hadn't even got to the real grind. Planning your house is one thing, building it is something completely different. And the reason for that is because, for example, one wall will take 20 planks for you to build. I had 8 walls and a roof, but it gets worse. That's not 20 planks for one wall to be instantly constructed.
Plus, you have to eat.
I had
Don't forget, you have to eat and drink water because you live in the world. And if you sit there and you chop 25 planks of wood, that might be like 3 days real life time. And you know, and where was your food and your water going to come from? And that's when I quit. Because the world was like honestly dead. For a world trying to be that big, it was a fairly dead world that was mainly land. Rust is good because you can like pull stuff out of the water, you can fight the animals out there, you can build and all this stuff. Much superior game than this in every single way, except for the terraforming. They have terraforming, but I mean it takes all goddamn day to do the terraforming. So who the fuck cares? Who cares? By the time you get done terraforming something, you're one of the 300 people left playing the game who has that kind of fucking patience, you know?
To click build on that wall 20 times, using up 1 plank each time.
Yeah. Or I would play Worm because it looks like a great game, but I mean, like honestly, that combat didn't actually bother me. But you can't major in combat. You have to worry about where your food and your water is going to come from, which means having like a fucking home, and it's just Am I done yet? No. I'm done with some of it. Yeah, I'm done with some of it. I'm grinding. I'm half a level in. I'm doing okay. This is so much faster. Look, I'm already halfway to where I was. Yeah, 20 times 45 seconds.
Assuming my stamina hasn't run out.
Yeah, you sit there and you troll this. You're like, oh my god, this developer is so fucking mean. You think about other games like that one that I constantly look into. What is it called? Life is Feudal. I haven't bought Life is Feudal, but I still haven't played it. Or no, I didn't buy it. I'm sorry, I downloaded it because it's like they have an MMO and it's supposed to be pretty good like this, where you can build and terraform the world. But the combat's goddamn worthless.
Well, adventurer, and
they all have problems. Like Mortal's combat's good, but its base building is fucking terrible.
Led me to realize that
You receive item. We trolls blood potions 3.
for this new disease to spread
Quest accepted.
properly.
A new plague.
Poisoning some hapless victim is child's play. Plaguing an entire world proves to be a bit more complicated. I will need 5 vile fin scales from murlocs in the vicinity. You will find the creatures along the coast, to the north or to the west.
You say that I'm in this place where I'm supposed to see these things that I'm supposed to pick. Oh, there's one. One more, but I don't see any.
Gloomweed.
There's one.
You receive loot. Gloomweed.
Okay, now I go turn in, I guess. Okay. 3 weak trolls blood. Nice, I'll take it, yeah. They're trying to show me how good alchemy is. I think it's not too good if you can buy the potions, you know? But if you can't buy the potions, you need it, which made that SSF character fucking worthless unless I went back and did fucking herbs. And at that point, you might as well basically restart a new character. You'd be wasting so much time. So I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go horde where OnlyFans is going, where the Cultural Revolution will be, and in the meantime, I'll level a character that doesn't have fucked up professions. I want enchanting and skinning. Enchanting, leatherworking until I have so many greens I can skin.
What's this?
Experience
Gloomweed?
gained. 230.
I've no need for gloomweed.
Quest accepted.
That mindless
Doomweed.
mass of flesh is out there picking daisies and convincing the lady knows how many dupes like you into doing the same. No offense. Very well, you're here now, and that's all that matters. Since I'm not going to bother to try to explain things to that abomination, how about you collect what I really need? Doomweed. So you can see the predicament that I am in, adventurer. That thing is out there collecting the wrong weeds. I'll make it worth your while to gather what I need. Bring back to me enough doomweed and I'll give you a suitable reward. It is my understanding that they like to plague the flora near the mass grave site, to the north of the Brill graveyard. Hurry and be mindful of the gnolls in the area.
There's gnolls. Okay. I like that it feels fresh, and I haven't done it. I did this on Sod, but then I ended up moving Alliance at level 20 because Begon was like, "Oh, we got to go to Alliance." I was like, "Well, yeah, but Sod sucks, though." I kind of knew Sod sucked. It doesn't have that extraction feel. I have been working on the defensive style of my gameplay because I've only been working on offense for like 5 years. How to get more kills, how to do better, how to get wins in Fortnite and that kind of thing. But now I'm working on not dying because I die so much. I die all the time. I suck. I die so much. I don't really want to die anymore. And this is a good mode for that. This mode totally fucking makes you really think about what you're doing.
You receive loot. Linen cloths 2. You loot 11 copper.
I might put points into extended gouge because I like gouge. You can just run back and keep chucking axes at them. We get to see how much damage thrown actually is. It's insane. Ah. You Give me my camera right. Oh, okay.
You receive loot. Forest mushroom cap.
I mean, I'm starting to see the gouge is actually so good, and I might actually put points into it first. Damn it.
You loot 5 copper.
This is also a really good lesson in Rogue.
You receive loot. Linen cloth.
On 8 walls.
You receive
Do
loot.
the math.
Embalming ichor.
But hey, I didn't
Lose
get
6 copper.
27k subs on YouTube by not completing the tutorial. So I built that big ruddy house. And I built it good.
Spider. But it's a crappy game with no realism, and you don't feel good when you're done, and you're like, it would be cool if I really felt like I lived here, but I know that I'm going back to some better game than this after this, which is really sad. Like, I'd rather, like, this game really feels like I fucking live here. Like, I care about this, I'll defend, I'll pull out a pistol. Oh, speaking of which, I have to run my kit. Yeah, my kit, my sexy kit. My kit. Okay, cool. Scrap. Scrap is good. Let's train things or whatever. What do we train? That thing would be good to train. Oh, also, didn't I get a suppressor? Or no, maybe I did it. Did I do the suppressor? No. Oh yeah, that axe. Yeah, that axe would be good. Here, can I fish with candy bars? They aren't cooked. Can I use this? No. Really? Fucking lame. How am I gonna do this? I need like rope. How am I gonna get a rope? I might have to go buy it. Give me some scrap. Yeah, give me like 60 scrap, and I'm gonna go buy a rope so I can fucking fish my way to like victory. I mean, I fed that horse, and now I have nothing else to feed him. It's so annoying. I don't know. I asked myself, do I need a horse? And I think an electronic horse might be better because the electronic horse doesn't eat lots of food that I can't come up with on this hardcore server. So I'm going to stop worrying about him because I don't need to worry about him, and I'm not going to worry about him. Nope. Can I learn and make the shovel? That'd be cool. 125? God damn, you expensive game. No, you can't? Okay, well, sooner or later I'll get that one thing. Maybe I should just go run the road for fun, huh? Yeah, I think so. And I'll get some water and stuff. I don't think I'm taking the horse on this one. Wait, oh yeah, there was a bike at the, Here, take a little bit more fuel than that. Yeah, and there was a bike at the gas station. I'll run the road to gas station. And then I'll... Wait, oh no, that thing's stone. Yeah. Nice. Now it's like a 4-door raid. I mean, I really don't care. I could extend that out fucking further if I wanted.
Death Guard Bartholomew says, "Sai, it's about time to check on the cemetery again. I'll be back in a few minutes."
Wait, cemetery? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go sell. Wait, do you sell? No, you don't sell. This was good, but I need a damn bag. I can't carry all this. 350.
You create linen bandage. You create linen bandage. You create linen bandage.
I'm gonna look for rope here so that I don't have to buy it, but I'll fucking buy it if I have to. Rope! There it is! I got on the first thing I did, I got rope. Hey, my problem solved. Nice. Let's go gamble this little bit of scrap. Ooh, look, it's a lot of really good stuff. Yeah. See, running the road was good. Let's run the road all the way to gas station and then run back. Fuck it. Nice, I got a flashlight now. That's real good. Run this video.
Ladies and gentlemen, several hours later, I give you...
Yeah, it's a house.
The Del Plop. It was
Several
totally
hours
worth
later.
the hours. Don't
Was
get
it
me wrong,
really?
I had a real sense of achievement after building this house, but during the actual make of this house, I felt more like, well, this. The game is certainly grindy, but the knowledge required to do the most basic crafting and building, well, let's put it this way, it's that complex they have a built-in wiki, but I don't necessarily see this as a negative. I would say part of the game's charm is the fact that it is so complex and that it
There's
is something
wall.
that's going to
Cool.
take a while to master. There is a sense of achievement you get when you do the most basic stuff in WoW Online, and I think that dopamine hit is probably what keeps a lot of people playing this title. But it's also probably what makes people not play this title, because it can be very tough. I'm too ashamed to say how many hours it took for me to complete my house, but put it this way, it's enough that when I do look at the village that I'm a part of, I have nothing but respect for what they've achieved. There are a few things to take into consideration though. You can get better tools which will speed up some of the processes, and you can specialise in certain areas. There are an abundance of skills you will need to level up in order to progress in this game. And some of the crafting knowledge is locked behind different skill levels. And as much as it would be good to focus on everything at the same time, it's better spend your time focusing on one skill because they can be quite grindy. Believe me, I know, I'm level 14 in woodwork.
Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
But the beauty of this game is the fact that because it is so difficult, it encourages teamwork. It encourages you to speak to other players. Because yes, you could read the wiki, but let's be honest, sometimes it's just easier to speak to someone to understand what the frick you're doing. Imagine a MMO where players talk to each other. Crazy, right? Which brings me to the point of how I got my donkey. Because if I hadn't spoken up in chat, if I hadn't joined the village, if I hadn't made friends with these other people, I would have never found Dave the donkey. During one of several hours it took me to build my house, I actually got speaking to the other villagers and got invited along to go on a hunt so I can get some combat experience under my belt. Ironically, due to the mechanics of building a house and the fact that there was 45 seconds between each click, it gave me time to type and talk to my other villagers. And with all
The
of this
game
going
looks a
on,
lot
it did
better
make
than
me
I
wonder,
remember.
why is this game labelled a sandbox MMORPG when it clearly has more survival elements to it than RPG elements? I mean, hell, you even have a hunger and a thirst meter. But anyway, Blivy traded me a donkey and even sorted me out with a new sword, and we were off on our adventure. Blivy noticed a unicorn in the woods, so we went over to investigate. And before I knew it, the unicorn was under attack by Blivy. It was quite startling. Blivy essentially acted as a tank, whilst I crept round behind it and did the DPS. And just like that, our first beast was slain. We divided up the loot and moved on to the next creature. We proceeded to use the same tactics with Blivy tanking whilst I did damage. And as archaic as the combat might have looked, let's be honest here, was it really that different from any other tab-targeting MMORPG from its era? I don't think so. And that's when the penny dropped. It had been staring me in the face all this time. Do you know what this game actually reminded me of? RuneScape. Everyone always talks about WoW killers and trying to copy WoW, but maybe Worm Online went a different route and it actually took inspiration from RuneScape.
Yeah, that's New World did that too, except there was no reason to it. There was nothing to make, you know.
Quite frankly, I don't think it matters, because in this day and age, when it comes to those two acronyms, they basically mean the same thing. I do find it curious, however, that Worm Online labels itself as the ultimate sandbox MMORPG, when realistically, it probably would have been better off advertising
as the worst one,
as the ultimate survival MMO. Whilst I go through the pros and cons of Worm Online, please enjoy this background footage of me being attacked by a spider whilst trying to build my house. So let's start the pros then. Let's be blunt here. There is no other game like this on the market right
He's gonna kill me, isn't he?
It is literally the only sandbox MMORPG with this level of complexity that I'm aware of. So what some might consider its weakness, I personally think it's its biggest selling point and its biggest strength. I think anyone truly looking for a social MMO, despite its lacking player base, it is still one of the most social experiences I've had in quite some time when it comes to reviewing MMORPGs. So if you're looking to make new friends while spending 10 hours building a house,
AQR has reached level 60.
this is probably the game for you. I know I seemed angry about how long it took me to build my house, but I generally do feel like the crafting is some of the best I've seen in quite some time. Yes, it's a bit of a time sink, but the thought that's gone into it, like the fact that you have to smelt iron, and if you leave it in longer it gets to a higher temperature, which means only then can you craft it in a particular way. There's a lot of detail that's gone into it, which honestly it's just commendable. If you're someone who enjoys roleplay, and by that I mean being like a carpenter or a miner or even just like an innkeeper, this is probably the game for you. It lets you do it to the nth degree of complexity, which I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate. So let's move on to some of its biggest cons. So there's no getting around it, this game is a massive time sink. Even walking is a chore in this game and takes a lot of time, and there's no particular reason for it. It just feels like things are intentionally made to feel awkward and slow just so you spend more time in the game, which is not a good mechanic.
Nope.
Even with the addition of an inbuilt wiki and a tutorial as
He
soon
said
as you
it.
start,
He said
this
it correctly.
game still explains very little. And worst of all, if you try and find the answer to a lot of these problems through Google or YouTube, these videos are 10 years old and terribly made. And I don't think
terribly
it's a reflection
made.
of the creators, but just a reflection on YouTube 10 years
Just
ago.
on
And I
YouTube
wholeheartedly
being
believe
old.
This is the reason the player population is so low for this game. Because once you are out the tutorial, it's just, none of it makes sense. None of it.
I'm scared to death. I'm frightened and I don't know what to do. I'm confused and I want to go home.
Look, I don't want to be mean about this game, but the UI is terrible. Are you seriously telling me it's a game that's almost 20
Yeah,
years
like you
old,
couldn't improve that?
Is the best they could do with the UI.
Yeah,
Like the wall of
yeah,
text
like what? Yeah.
The graphics I don't really care about, but when I have to go through a really crappy UI, it's very
it fucking sucks.
And one of the most surprising things about this game for me is the fact that it has zero social media presence. No one seems to be aware of this game. No one seems to have even played it. The biggest person to play this was Josh Drive Hayes as part of his worst MMO series, which not necessarily the best thing to be part of. But no one else has even given this game a try. And I just feel like maybe if they actually publicised the game more, the population wouldn't be so low. And a bit of a controversial one, but I feel like because of the age of the game and the fact that the servers have probably never been wiped, some areas just feel a bit like a Reddit. They just feel like they've been abandoned by their previous owners and they're just sat there still surviving for whatever reason. If there is build and decay, then it's just too low. A lot of people would argue there's a lot more cons than that. The combat system, the graphics, the complexity. It doesn't know if it's an MMORPG or a survival game or both. But I honestly feel like those are the unique selling points of this title. But realistically, the biggest killer of this game is just the time it takes to play it. You need to properly dedicate your evenings if you're going to spend time in Worm Online. As I said earlier, 15 minutes to build one wall, it's just off-putting. I don't have that.
That's why I feel that Rust is better than Mortal and
You are no longer AFK.
better than these games. I think Rust is the right game, really. I wish Mortal had Rust in it. Like, Mortal could have been a much better game, and Mortal's better than this game. Mortal's definitely better than this game. It's better in graphics, music, everything. You know, I'm in Meduli now, but I don't know what to do in Meduli. Maybe I should watch a Meduli guide.
People. I'm Base Bellagio.
Thank you,
Welcome
Base
to
Bellagio.
another
I'd like to
great
sub to your channel.
Guide for Mortal Online 2. This is my guide for my gathering runs around the town of Meduli for you to become rich and not leave town and worry about PvP. Now, you always have to worry about PvP in this game, but my secret little hiding spots around this town will help you really get the edge on other people with minimal risk. So we started back at the market near the fountain, and we are heading south, southwest. Everything revolves around the crafting, grinders, and crushers over here. Okay? For my runs, we do farming at the zombies. We do farming around different mobs around Meduli. I'll show you some spots, mainly cougar and bush pigs.
Adamant Bill has reached level 60.
My main bulk of money comes from mining.
You receive light leather.
There's also some harvestables out in the fields I will show you for herbalists or alchemists too. We use all this to help make a little buffer of gold. So it doesn't matter if we get jumped or ambushed, we can just go buy some more stuff. So from here, obviously any rock is fair game, but most of these rocks around here are always mined, except a few. Let me show you.
You receive loot, ruined leather scraps.
The first one is my favorite little rock over here that nobody ever gets. Very rarely do I see someone up over here. This is also a great spot for a beginner because you feel safe with guards nearby. But right over here is a beautiful little ore of Sabura. All the rock around here around Meduli is going to be Sabura, unless you go up into the foothills or up that mountain where that keep is. But that is on you. It's your risk. And you want to wait for that till you're comfortable. This No, Duke. If anyone watches my stream over on Twitch, you know Duke. He's an ornery kind of horse who jumps off cliffs at a moment's notice. Wait,
you receive loot, stringy wolf meat. You receive loot, ruined leather scraps.
Sabura has in it some good stuff for you to sell or keep refining if you want to go down that path for crafting. And we'll talk about that later. Out in this field here, pretty much down to the water, to that rock, all out here, you're going to find something called boar. Boar is also used for crafting and refining, and you actually need it to refine the Sabura even further.
Light leather.
So you're going to want to collect a lot of that. Where's Duke? We might want to hop on little old Duke here. There's been a lot of PvP activity around Meduli lately, and there's a coalition of guilds that protect a lot of the noobs around here. Like myself, I am a noob. I am no master at this game. I just make videos for different games.
You receive loot,
so,
meaty batwing.
I would love to make videos
you receive loot, ruined leather scraps.
for a game that I love, like this game. It's very easy to make videos for this game. Or any game that I like playing for the most part. This is boar. Boar is used and utilized for a couple different things. And the one thing I want you to be aware of is anything you harvest around Meduli won't sell for as much on the local broker. Basically, that's the auction house of this game.
You receive loot. Stringy wolf meat.
You would probably take this
You receive
boar
loot. Ruined leather
to
scraps.
another city, north or east. I'm not sure if there's any cities south. But basically, you go to a different city, you bring this stuff. Because the way this game works, as far as I know, is what's abundant in one city.
Very good, very good. I wondered if he was going to get to the point. This is something I've understood always, but a lot of people struggle with it. Is what's the point of these open world games? Well, the cities all have different resources around them that all need to be spread to other cities so that you can get them. You can get the full range of materials you need to do anything, and it's supposed to inspire sociality. But the problem is, I don't need sociality from video games, not anymore. It's fun to talk to people, and I do it all the time. I talk to people. I talked to that WoW guild I was in, but it like, you know, but it's also like fun to be on your own too. It's fun to be solo too. And so like I struggle with these games a little bit because it's like there's not enough grind like this where like, see how WoW has me killing mobs all the fucking time to keep me busy all the time. That style is not like that in this game. This game throws 7 mobs at the same time at you because they want you to be stressed out and they want you to go get friends and stuff. And I don't like that. But I also really like how deep the game is because I got addicted to Rust. Rust is the best game, I think, really. It's weird, but it is, or I wouldn't be playing as much as I did. I can't stop here, I'll die. I'm gonna ding. I am gonna ding, like, pretty fairly soon.
You receive loot. Ruined pelt. You receive loot.
Oh, yeah, something else I can do is give myself some upgrades. And I also need to learn that and this. Yep, and we'll need scrap. Here's this, and I want to do something with that.
You create light leather. You create light leather.
Oh yeah, fucking dope. I should break the TC and put it up here. And I can totally do that. There's nothing stopping me. I have a bean can in here. I can just blow a bean can and knock this TC. No problem. Yep. I'll blast that TC. And I'll move it to where this bed is. I'll move the TC where the bed is, and I'll put another sort of that's 1, 2, 3. In the future I'll do that. In the future I'll just do it. 1, 2. They'll have to blow this. That's 3, 4, 5, 6 garage doors to the TC. They wouldn't know to look for it, but I need to make the base a little bit more solid. But if I play the game more, I can do that. The game needs to be good enough for you to play it, and it's annoying, you know. And honestly, I doubt I see a raid. I don't need to do anything here. I don't need to change the TC or anything like it. And if they take my base from me, I can just go and make another one, you know. The game's good enough now.
Scarce than another, and vice versa. This is some more boar. This rock over here, I love grabbing. These rocks, I feel like not many people come out here. This is like the mid-range zone. When I was very new to the game, I didn't leave that far either. I actually have to get this for my mining experiences and journeys, experiments, everything coming. I'm making a bunch of
You
cool
receive loot.
stuff. I'm
String
going to
wolf
start
meat.
giving it away to new people.
You receive loot.
Selling
Ruined
it
leather
on the
scraps.
market. I haven't mined boars successfully when it's on a rock like that. I don't know if that's a glitch or what. The next material I want you to be aware of. Let's see if we can hunt it out while we're riding. Trees are scarce around Meduli. The graveyard has your source of trees. If you're a shieldsmith, bowsmith, bow crafter would be
You
the
receive
more
loot. Ruined
proper
pelt.
term. Let's keep
You receive
riding.
loot. Dust bat pelt. You receive loot. Ruined leather scraps.
Right here. This is fennel. Fennel is good for horses to feed them. You can also gather that on your journeys. Keep an eye out for it to make some extra money. Here's some more right here. Now more hidden rock spots close to town. These tend to be non-mined sometimes, but the closer you get to the grinder down here and the crusher, you
receive
will
loot. Ruined leather
find
scraps.
people have mined them completely. Let me show you another secret rock spot. Hop off the horse. This rock so the way
New World is a good game, and specifically in that it doesn't charge a monthly, you know? And that's difficult because, like, I would love to go back to EverQuest 2 if it wasn't $15, you know? But I always think, like, every time I want to go back to one of those games, I'm like, I could just go back to New World, which is a good game for $30, you know? They were so mean to New World, but they always forget that once you buy New World, you're done forever. It's free forever. But once you reach the end of the content, there's nothing to do.
You receive loot. Light leather.
rocks work, as far as I could tell, is, let's say this is a fresh rock. If we mine it right here, I feel like it's zoned. So then, like, anything connected to this rock, per se, okay, for maybe about to here would be mined. But then if I go over here and I start mining, I feel like I get rock again. So always play around with the rocks. Like, move up a little, a good, decent way. Duke's in my way. Jeez, Duke. But a secret spot on this rock that not many people mine is right here. Right about here. See Sabura? Not many people mine this area, this zone. And then same with up here. On top of this rock,
You receive
and
loot.
around
Meaty
town.
batwing.
Very good mining spots.
You receive loot. Ruined leather scraps.
Now let's go to by the water's edge. There's one more spot in town that not many people get. And you'll be protected by Ozzy. Ozzy's the flying guard. I don't know if other people call him Ozzy, but Ozzy's a good friend of mine. He flies above the harbor. He hangs out there watching the sunrise and sunset. And he'll protect you while you mine. Ozzy's right around here. These rocks are always mined, I feel like. Every single time. These, maybe you'll get lucky, okay? And then down by Ozzy, right here. By the water's
You
edge,
receive
a
loot.
beautiful
Light letter.
spot to mine. See the flying... Don't go in the water, Duke. Slow down. The flying guard up here. This is Oswald. Tindremic guard. This guard is a foreshadow of the ship update that's coming. Ships, boats. Okay? Boats are coming to the game. Ships are coming to the game. More
You receive
continents are
loot. Ruined
coming to
pelt.
the game. All next
You
year,
receive loot.
probably.
Dust
Not
bat pelt.
all. One continent's coming
You
next
receive loot.
year. I
Ruined
think
leather
the
scraps.
ships are coming next year. But Oswald here, he'll protect the harbor till then. But Ozzy will also protect you while you mine this little hidden spot. Some rock right here. You can watch the beautiful water. Oh, I found a new spot.
You receive loot.
Holy
A ship would be good if I can live on it with a storage chest. That would be okay. I can move all over that world as a ship. And maybe it was autopilot. Like pick a city and it'll go to it. It'll take 2 hours, you know? Something. I'm gonna ding like next mob. Then I've got to go train. Oh, I finished. Look, I finally finished. Yay. I might as well ding.
You receive loot, meaty batwing. You receive loot, light leather.
Eat crap. Let's make this horse steak. Stay there. Wow, guys, I swear, I never knew this was here. This spot is my mining. Ooh, my new pole sword. I'm getting good at these. That's not what I wanted to do. Listen, this is safe to say that this is also good rock, because if I come down here and harvest this rock as my secret, then this is definitely available. Wow, I like that. Okay, next we're gonna go.
You receive loot, light leather.
I think north. Oh man, he's screwed. Come on, Duke. Let's go. Okay. Should be good now. So out here you're gonna find this sea kelp. It's a type of kelp, sea dew it's called. Sea dew. If you're an alchemist, I'm not sure what this does. I'm not really into alchemy in this build. I'm gonna do a whole separate build video. I hope you check that out. There's more boar out here, all the way around here. All the way, this whole little cove by the water.
Light leather.
There's boar. Okay. Obviously more rock out here. You want to stay close to town though. Stick to there. You can always run back and harvest. That's pretty much all my rock spots within town. The last thing I want to show you for the budding adventurer is out here in these fields. You're going to get bush pigs. As you can see, bush pig. They're good to fight for a beginner. Also more fennel all over the place. Keep your eye out for it. Okay, and then southeast and east of town, by those trees out there, you'll find more bush pigs out here too. You're gonna find out here all day. They kind of roam and stuff, and there's packs and spawn areas. And then starting to get out here, you gotta be wary of. For players, for the Miscreant Guild and Legion, they are PvP. They kill you on sight. And but down those trees there,
your inventory is full.
Very deadly cougar. And once you get good at the game and have a better set of armor than you left Haven with, and a free weapon from me, Master Weaponsmith, Bellagio, Sampler, that's my in-game name. Find me, find the guild artisan, we're very helpful. You definitely want to get some good gear before fighting cougar. I still have not mastered or even become a novice at blocking cougar. Or many animals out there, they're harder to block than humans or PvP because you don't really know what direction an animal's swinging from. I have to just learn it. We all will. That's pretty much my entire harvest guide for Meduli. You would go and sell this to local NPCs, and you would also check the broker market. My broker guide is coming soon. I'm going to teach people the 101 basics of how to use the broker. So that'll be next. But thank you very much for watching. Hit that.
This video wasn't that good, but it was entertaining.
small Alvarin. You need to smoke that. Now what? Oil straight out of a Khmer pipe.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Wolfside channel! Today with a very special topic, I mean always special. Is Meduli viable? In terms of territory control, in terms of controlling, in terms of whatever you can think of. So Meduli from a tactical standpoint. Here for example will be the Tecton Bridge, or I guess here it was, I don't remember it correctly. For all who don't know, in Mortal Online 1 there was another continent called Zaduka or Saduka, depending on your pronunciation of course. And on Zaduka were a lot of important resources. So it's a very important city when the next continent
Your inventory is
will come to the
full.
game. But for new player, what's pretty interesting is there are a lot of spawns around Meduli, and especially Sidu and Boar spots where you can easily just gather and sell the materials. And a graveyard is nearby like everywhere, and you have a lot of bandit camps around Meduli. Or Meduli, depending on your pronunciation of course. Then you have a lot of trading routes, so you can easily go to Tindrum, you can also easily go to Favanum, and you can also easily go to Vada. And for starters, this is also a very good city. It's also
Your
depending
inventory
on
is
which
full.
guilds are playing currently at this city. But in general, you can make very good farming routes around Meduli, and also depending on which direction you want to go. I mean, you can basically you can look up at the Mortal Online 2 map and decide which way you want to go, or which round you want to go and stuff like this. So it really depends on your personal preferences. So maybe you would prefer this route if you're playing in Meduli. But again, it really depends on what you like. So maybe a few of you like the shorter route, not the long route here. But yeah, from a perspective of a new player, this is a valid option. But, and here comes the but, from a territory control and game perspective. It's of course not the best city, because you're far away from Tephra. So if you compare to cities that are closer to Tephra sources, you will have a higher tungsteel prices, higher chromonite prices, and higher osmium prices in